So you think making $10,000 a month online is going to make you happy? Think about that for a second, because you are very wrong. Take it from me. I've been in the online money game for about a year now, roughly, in total. And I've made my first $10,000 a month online. And if anything, it only made me, like, honestly less happy, because I was starting from a place of already being unhappy. Something I've learned in this past year is that money really is an amplifier, and, having a certain amount of money or reaching a monetary goal specifically is only going to amplify your situation that you are already in, right? So, for me in the past, like, honestly, like, year, probably even more than that, probably like closer to 2 years, I've really used like setting goals, for example, like making $10,000 a month or having a successful business, as an excuse for me not to, allow myself to really live life, So something that I want to share with you guys is just to, learn to be happy with yourself now, learn to allow yourself to live life now. Don't wait for yourself to make a certain amount of money before you allow yourself to go out, or before you allow yourself to date, or before you allow yourself to experience things in life, right? Because at the end of the day, like, as you chase goals in life, especially money, and this is coming just from my personal experience, like, as you chase goals in life, especially money, the goalpost is just going to move back, right? So making money, especially as a goal, is like kind of like chasing a horizon. You know what I mean? Like, as you get closer to your goal, you get closer to the horizon, it just gets further back, right? So there was a point in my life where, before I started trying to make money online and things like that, before I got my first sales job, my foot in the door making money online, I always told myself, if I could just start making money online, I would be super happy, right? I would be content. I would just be on top of the world, right? And then I get that job, and then all of a sudden my goal gets pushed back. It's like, well, if I could get promoted and become a closer instead of just being a setter, I would be so happy. Like, I don't think I would need to do anything else, right? And then I become a closer, and in my first month, I'm like, well, for me to be happy, like, I got to make 10 grand as a closer. Like, there's other people making 10 grand. Like, if I don't make 10 grand, then what's there to be happy about, right? And then in October, I actually made my first $10,000, right? And I won't lie to you, I was like on the fucking moon for a couple days, super happy. But then I just reverted back to my baseline level of energy and happiness, right? And then the goal just all of a sudden became, well, if I could start my own business, then I would be happy. I wouldn't even need to make 10 grand. And then I start a business with my friend, and we're like, well, if we could just land our first client, we would be happy. And then we land our first client, we're not happy. We're like, well, if we could do, 100K, we would be happy. Well, we did 100K, and now I'm still like feeling the exact same as how I started as a setter, getting my foot in the door, right? And really the message I want to share with you guys is just to, not wait until you hit a certain goal before you allow yourself to do things, right? So in the past like year or two, I would always like not allow myself to go out, not allow myself to go hang out with friends, not allow myself to date certain girls or things like that, just because, I always felt like I had to be better before I could allow myself to experience those things, or allow myself to experience those pleasures, right? I thought I had to be like this fucking Giga Chad, right? Anyway, but that's just really not true, bro. Like, especially with what's going on online these days, everyone's preaching monk mode, and there are definitely seasons of your life where you're going to have to be very disciplined, and it is just going to be work, eat, work. But honestly, it's, at least in my opinion, bro, like, you don't have to be 12 hours at your desk every single day to find success. There's still room in your life, and there's still time in your life for you to go and do things. You know what I mean? Like, you can go hang out with your friends on the weekend for dinner. You know what I mean? You can, go out and hang out with your parents or some shit. That's something that I've honestly done, is that I've pushed off spending time with people that are really important to me just because I thought I had to make a certain amount of money. And it's like a fucking death trap, bro. It's like, you start to get so obsessed with reaching this goal that you forget why you're even chasing the goal in the first place, right? So for me, it's like I'm chasing this goal so I can support my family and my loved ones, and I can spend more time with them. So why don't I just spend time with them? You know what I mean? So literally this like it's like January like 3rd or something right now, or 2nd or 4th or something like that. A couple days ago on New Year's Eve, I drove like 3 hours to my college, University of Arkansas, to actually just go out with some friends, you know, and like even now, like I don't know how I feel about that, but in reality, like I didn't miss out on, like I didn't necessarily lose money because I went, or like things didn't go to shit right away, you know? In the past, like I would have never allowed myself to do something like that, to like go out and experience, you know, New Year's Eve with my friends that I spent all my college time with, right? Just because I thought like, well, that's not what somebody who's successful does. But in reality, like there are people out there, and I know this is probably going to blow some of your minds, but there's people out there who like go out like multiple times a week and are making 100 times more money than you. You know what I mean? It's not an impossible reality, right? Because they still do the work that's required to get them there, and they know what's required, and then, you know, what they do in their spare time is different. But yeah, just, you know, I guess the message I'm really just trying to convey is that, you know, be content with where you are right now in your journey, and allow yourself to experience things in life, right? I'll like, whenever I was, and like, you can honestly learn so much about yourself that can help you in business and along your journey by experiencing things outside of just work, right? So for example, like this past weekend, or not weekend, like New Year's Eve or whatever, whenever I went up to hang out with my friends or whatever, go out that night, I hadn't spoken to a lot of these guys in like months, you know, and these were people that I used to see like every day, right? And that's on me. Like I just completely like locked myself in a room and like didn't see sunlight, right? But something important, or a big takeaway that I got from just going out there and hanging out with them, is that like, you know, when you're so caught up in the internet money game, you can get so caught up in fast money, right? Like I know people, like personally, I know people who have gone from like 0 to like 30 or 40K a month in like 18 months. You know what I mean? Rapid growth. Or you see these people online, it's like how I made 50K in my first month in business, right? Who knows if that's true or not, but you're so used, or at least me, like I'm so used, and you probably are too, you're so used to seeing all this like fast money that it makes you feel like you have to have everything right now, right? And I feel like for me, I've lost that perspective of being able to understand that, you know, I'm lucky to even play the game in the first place, and that, you know, everything is happening on time, just how it's supposed to be. So my business partner and I right now, we've only been doing what we've been running this business for like 2.5, maybe coming on 3 months now. And we turn a profit every month. You know, it's not a crazy profit or anything like that, but we turn a profit, and the growth potential is there. To me and him, we're always like, wow, like, dude, we need to level up. Like, we're not trucking, we're not trekking, we're not on the path we want to be on, we're not growing how fast we want to grow. But in reality, like outside of just internet money hustle culture and just business in general, having a profitable business in 3 months, whether that be $1,000 profit, $2,000 profit, $10,000 profit, whatever it is amazing. You know what I mean? And that's a part of reality that I lost touch with. And this weekend, whenever I was talking to some of my friends, you know, they were telling me, it's like, you know, they were congratulating me on having a business that's profitable. And to me, that was super interesting, because like literally for the past couple months, I've been like, wow, like my business is only turning a small profit, you know? But to them, it's like, wow, bro, like, you know, most people don't even get it that far. You know what I mean? So it's interesting to see perspectives from, you know, outside of yourself, and people who aren't in your same industry, and people that don't know exactly what you're doing, because a lot of the times you can lose touch with reality. At least that's what I have. That's what happened to me. But yeah, making $10,000 a month, just hitting $10,000 a month is not going to make you happy, bro. Okay. You can level up other areas of your life outside of just money. You know what I mean? Going out and being a sociable person, and, you know, having a life outside of work, building relationships, things like that. Those are all like bars of progression that you can level up that have nothing to do really with money. Right. And honestly, like you don't have to have $10,000 a month to be able to experience things in life, right? Another thing too is just having patience. You know what I mean? having patience in all areas of your life, not just, so for one, with making money, right? For me, even like looking at it in hindsight, objectively, my growth has been very rapid over a year's period in terms of like Brandon growing. You know, maybe my bank account's grown a little bit, sure, but like not that crazy much. But me as a person, I've now, you know, developed myself into somebody who I think can honestly make a lot of money, right? And hopefully I will, and I'll share it with you guys. But have patience in, you know, your process, have patience in what you're doing, have patience in your business, have patience in your relationships. Not everything has to come in 1 week or 1 day or even 1 month or honestly even 1 year. You know what I mean? Understand that it's gonna, like, having patience in, yeah, just making the money, but, you know, have patience and also understanding that, you know, your life externally has to catch up to where you are, you know, internally, right? So what I kind of mean by that is that, for example, like, people in your life, or at least in my life, they're not going to probably support you in what you're doing. They're probably not going to believe in what you're doing. And they're probably not going to really care about what you're doing, right? That's a good thing. But the reason I bring that up is that you need to have patience even in the fact that your outside world of people who, you know, are around you in life are not going to even believe in you for a long time, right? And this is something that I've recently just experienced, is that when I first started, if I'm being honest, like, I didn't have a single person who believed in me. Not my parents. Can't blame anybody, by the way, because, you know, they only know what they know, right? You can't expect them to know what they don't know and to believe in you whenever you're doing something that they have no idea, right? And they don't even know it's possible. But, you know, I had nobody really who believed in me. Not you know, not my parents, not really any immediate family, not honestly not even that many friends that I had in real life, right? I felt very isolated in that. But understand that it's a patience game, right? These people will start to believe in you and your purpose and what you're doing as you achieve, right? People only care about achievements. They don't really care about what you're doing, right? So now I run a profitable business, and a lot of those people who once didn't believe in me, they've even come up and told me, some of my good friends, they've come up and told me, it's like, hey, like, whenever you first started, bro, like, I really did not believe in what you were doing, and I thought you were going to fail, and I thought you were just going to give up, and I thought you were going to just go get a job, right? Now, those same people will come up to me and they'll say, hey, you know, I think what you're doing is super cool, and I think you should keep it up. Like, you're doing a great job, right? And the reason I feel like that's important is because whenever you're starting, it's very easy to lose even belief in yourself, right? It's very easy to lose that belief that you can even do it, because you're in, you know, everybody externally around you, your entire world doesn't really believe in you, at least in my experience. So sometimes you lose that faith in yourself, right? That's one reason I think it's very important to surround yourself with people who are on like a same journey as you. That way you guys can support yourself together. I think that's honestly like one of the biggest hacks to, you know, growing, is just surrounding yourself with like-minded people. But going back to my point, it's like, people only are going to believe in you after you start to see some success. So have patience in, you know, what you're doing. Have patience in the people around you. Just have patience, right? And going back to that story a little bit, like losing faith in yourself, like now some of those people, like in the past year, honestly, I've lost faith in myself a little bit. I've gained a lot of it back, but, you know, there's definitely some days where I'm like, fuck, bro, like I really don't know if I can do this. And the cause of that is that my immediate surroundings didn't believe in what I was doing. So it was hard for me to prove to myself that it was possible, right? But now that they are starting to have some belief in me, some of these people I feel like have more belief in me than I have in me. You know what I mean? Which is not a good thing, right? But what you can take away from that is just, you know, believe in yourself, believe in what you're doing. Just because you're the only one that knows that it works around you doesn't mean that you're the only one that knows that it works in the world, right? I come from a little town in Arkansas. There's not a single soul that I've ever met in my entire life before I got to college that has made money online like this, okay? So literally there's nobody in my reality, in my world, that believes in what I'm doing until I showed them. So you know what I mean? And you can't blame them for not, you know, understanding, because it's literally not in their reality, right? You've seen something that they haven't seen. And if you want them to believe in you, you're just gonna have to show them, you know what I mean? But I know that's kind of convoluted. Biggest takeaway is just don't chase money so hard. Allow yourself to live now. You know, go out with your friends sometimes. If anything, it's going to make you work harder. In my experience, like whenever I fucking sit at my desk for 10 hours, I'm like, God, I fucking hate being at my desk. Like, I don't even want to work, right? It takes me like 3 hours to do like an hour of work because I just don't want to fucking do it, right? So honestly, having some of that time away can really give you a perspective as to why you work so hard, right? Don't just chase money. Have patience with what you're doing. Just because you didn't get it in 1 month doesn't mean that you're a fucking failure. If anything, you're probably doing good because you are failing. Have patience with the people around you. Have patience in everything. And yeah, it's Friday. Just got done with the gym. No meetings today for work. Probably gonna send some outreach messages. We're trying to land a second client. Even that, like, I'm like, fuck, bro. Like, I want a second client today. But am I doing the action required to get that second client? That's something that I ask myself a lot. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Yo, squad, I don't know if you can see this, but our closer just closed $3,000 today. He just closed a $3,000 deal. This is hype because we just did a bunch of training with him this week, and you can see he like had to objection handle this lead for like 20 minutes before he could get him to pay $3,000. But yeah, fire. Real quick, I wanted to jump on here and just kind of talk to you guys about that last segment that I was talking about. Don't want you guys to take the wrong message away from that. So what I was trying to, like, I don't want you guys to think that, like, I don't want you guys to, like, work hard or anything like that, or, like, it's not important to make money. I definitely think it is, and obviously I wouldn't be in this game if I wasn't. But the biggest takeaway I want you guys to have from that is just to, you know, understand that it's important to make money, but don't get so lost in the pursuit that you lose yourself, and that, you know, you don't spend time with those around you, and, you know, you don't allow yourself to experience opportunities in life, right? But yeah, it's Friday. No meetings, like I said earlier. Our closer just closed $3,000. Let's go. Our goal is to do $100,000 in January. To do that, it's like $4,000 a day, I think. Times 26 days, I think, because, you know, you're excluding like the weekends and things like that sometimes. But yeah, something around there. It's like $4,000, or maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less a day. Yeah, my business partner and I just jumped off of our meeting. We had like a one-on-one sync today. We're trying to, you know, figure out this whole outreach method. We're trying to land our second client right now. We have, you know, one or two guys in mind. One of them we built out like a pitch deck for. So probably gonna jump on a call with him and try to pitch him, see how it goes. The second guy we're thinking about is probably gonna be the biggest pitch of my life. Probably I'd say like have a 2 to 5% chance of landing him, but he would be like a moon client, you know what I mean? Like a whale client. Like if I landed him, it would be like the biggest opportunity of my life, right? And you know, one thing that I thought about recently while I was doing outreach, because like at least outreach is super hard and very unrewarding, because you know you're sending out lots and lots of messages to people, trying to pitch them, trying to jump on a call with them, trying to connect with them, trying to let them know what you have to offer. And you know, you usually don't get any replies, you usually don't get any responses, you usually don't even get it open, right? So I want to talk to you guys about like doing work even when it's unrewarded, you know? Because, you know, in terms of outreach, for example, you know, we're outreaching to companies and people trying to land our second client. You know, I know guys who make 35 grand a month with 2 or 3 clients, you know? So as far as like the agency game, for example, or like, you know, you can even use this in terms of, you know, just doing work in general, is that not, you know, you just need to do the work even when it's unrewarded, right? So right now, like we're sending out tons of outreach messages, probably won't even get 90% of them opened, but you know, we've had like one guy reply and say like, no, thank you, whatever. But the biggest thing is that it only takes, you know, one yes or one person to be in a good mood that opens your DM, or, you know, it only takes one home run, right? You only need to hit a home run one time in business. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, do the work even when it's unrewarded, right? If you guys are trying to start a business right now, understand that a lot of the work that you do is going to not reward you right away. You're not going to get paid in the beginning to do a lot of the work. You're just gonna have to do a lot of the work, and you're not gonna get paid for it, right? In terms of outreach right now, we're putting in a lot of hours into outreaching, and we're not gonna get rewarded for it. But it's the work that's necessary, and you know, it only takes one, right? It only takes one person to answer my DM and give us a chance. It's only gonna take one business. You know, you may fail your first 5 businesses. It only takes one to hit it out the park and you'd be a millionaire, you know? But yeah, happy Friday, guys. I'm going out to Scottsdale here in like 2 weeks. I'm going to try to make a video. I'm going out there with like 3 other people who make money online. I'm going to try to do a video just like sitting down with them. Just so you guys, and you know, you guys can learn about them and maybe try to reverse engineer how they're able to make money online. But yeah, guys, keep working hard towards your goals. If you guys have any ideas of like content that you guys want me to make or anything that you guys, you know, think that would be helpful, let me know. Peace out.